fourth trait of social and diversity awareness?
It's being able to get along and work effectively with people of different backgrounds and beliefs, and working to be more self-aware and sensitive to others' needs in the workforce.
And why is that so important in the workforce today?
Wow, that's a great question. The world is so interconnected and global. Things have changed. And if you were to consider that just 50 or 30 years ago, many of the technological advances that we have that allow us to connect, they didn't exist. In the workplace, people on the other side of the world are able to engage in business with people on this side of the world through Skype, email, and a host of other tools.
So globally, it absolutely makes sense why that's so necessary. I'm just wondering on a local level, Chelly, I know you've had some experience working with your peers, with teens who were convicted of petty crimes. And how did that work for you?
So it was definitely an interesting experience, and it was a big learning experience for me. Obviously, there were peers who had committed these crimes, and they were coming into me, and we were all kind of the same age, and like, you're going to represent me in court, like, what's going on, type thing. Like, everyone's a little and so what would happen is basically we would go argue the case in front of a judge, and the judges would all be lawyers who are all doing pro bono work, so all very legit, can be very intimidating. And of course I'm sitting down with these kids that are my age, and I'm looking at them kind of saying, okay, well, let's kind of figure out what's going on. And one thing I realized immediately is that my background was very different than theirs. So one thing I realized is I couldn't just look at them and say, oh, well, I got to figure out how to convince them to say this and all this. I had to put myself in their shoes, which can be difficult. And sometimes people might think like, oh, it could be a little awkward, like they're your age, but it's not, because it's really beautiful when you form that human connection with someone, because you really get to know them on a deeper level, and you can actually really impact them. And we were able to form strong connections, and when they would go up in front of the judges, they'd be very confident, and we were able to create that relationship that lasted past just that one incident, which was really important.
That's great. It was great you were able to find some common ground, too, about being the same age and taking it from there. What do you think would have happened, though, if you weren't so sensitive, to the different diversity? Right.
I mean, we've talked a lot about the globalized world, and it's extremely important that at the high school age, at the middle school age, really at the youth age, that you really understand what's kind of around you. It's all about communication and communicating around this globe. And sometimes you're not even communicating through language. You just got to communicate kind of through heart and feel. And you got to really put yourself in someone else's shoes to really feel what they're going through. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to make an impact in anything that you do. So it's just an important, valuable lesson to learn.
As I listened to Chelly's story, I had amazing opportunities to really enhance your leadership skills and to develop trust. And those are all important traits that work towards enhancing a concept of understanding social diversity and even becoming more self-aware.
And you definitely made an impact. Now partner up with someone and think of two different countries in the world. Imagine you're on a work team with people from those countries. What would you do to learn more about their culture? Now do some research and come up with a list of 5 fun facts about each country. Use these lists to share with the group so everyone can learn more about how globally connected we all are.